Hello, and welcome to How Neurotransmitters Affect Mental Health from the Shreveport chapter of Science Matters. My name is Erika Knott, and I'm a Ph.D. candidate at LSU Health Sciences Center in Shreveport in the Department of Biochemistry. And today, I would like to discuss how neurotransmitters work in your brain. Neurons are nerve cells that send messages to each other all throughout your body. Neurons are what allow you to sense the environment around you and respond accordingly. Neurons communicate through chemicals called neurotransmitters. The neuron that sends a signal is called the presynaptic neuron. An electric signal travels down the presynaptic neuron to the next neuron that will receive the signal. The neuron receiving the signal is called the postsynaptic neuron. And the postsynaptic neuron can receive inputs from several presynaptic neurons, which affects how the postsynaptic neuron propagates those signals. The branches of a presynaptic neuron that receive the signal are called dendrites. The signal is sent down the axon terminal at the end of the presynaptic neuron. The signal is then sent to the postsynaptic neuron, where it continues through the neuronal circuit. Since the neurons aren't touching one another, the signal has to be relayed chemically through the synapse, which is the gap between the neurons. The presynaptic neuron ends in axon terminals, which contain the neurotransmitters, and the cell body end of the postsynaptic neuron has dendrites that are covered in neurotransmitter receptors that the neurotransmitters can bind to. When an electric signal comes down the presynaptic neuron, it travels down to the axon terminals and causes a release of the neurotransmitters from the synaptic vesicles into the synapse. The neurotransmitters diffuse across the gap and bind to their appropriate receptors. This has an effect on the postsynaptic neuron. Those effects are different based on what the neurotransmitters were and what kind of receptors they bind to. Two main neurotransmitters that are involved in keeping us happy and motivated throughout the day are serotonin and dopamine. Serotonin motivates you to do things and seek novel stimulus. It keeps us motivated and interested in things. Whereas dopamine is more of a reward. It tells you, I liked that, let's do it again. These neurotransmitters affect our mental health by regulating several different aspects of our daily life. Serotonin focuses on affecting appetite, sleep, memory, and learning, while dopamine can influence our reward, motivation, and surprise. Both of these affect our desire for food and our overall mood throughout the day. However, malfunctions in the signaling systems associated with these neurotransmitters can also lead to mental health problems. Problems in serotonin signaling can lead to obsessions, anxiety, and compulsions, whereas problems with dopamine can lead to addictions. Both of these systems can affect the development of depression in an individual. Too little serotonin leads to depression and anxiety. In studies of mental health, it has been found that the most common drugs used to treat depression and anxiety are called selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. In an individual suffering from depression, a presynaptic neuron will fire and neurotransmitters will be released into the synapse, as usual. Now, neurotransmitters also happen to have reuptake channels on the presynaptic neuron that allows the neurotransmitters to be cleared whenever the signal needs to stop. If a person has low levels of serotonin to begin with, this can lead to less serotonin reaching its receptor at the postsynaptic neuron. Ultimately, the lack of signaling leads to a lack of wanting to do things. You may experience a lack of appetite, an inability to sleep, poor memory, or difficulty learning. Although it isn't 100% clear how SSRIs work, the most accepted idea is that when a presynaptic neuron fires and the neurotransmitters are released, SSRIs work by blocking the serotonin reuptake channels. This keeps more serotonin in the synapse, and therefore there's more serotonin available for signaling to the postsynaptic neuron. Ultimately, this leads to improvements in appetite, sleep, memory, and overall mood. Thanks for watching. I hope this helps you understand how neurotransmitters work and how they affect our mental health. For more content, please like and follow us on Facebook or Instagram at Science Matters Shreveport. Thanks again for watching.